Animals love their children much like we do. They care for them and want them to be happy, right? It's the evolutionary instinct of taking care of the young that helps the species continue their bloodlines. Well, despite what common sense might dictate, sometimes animals are the worst parents. Some throw their kids off of trees or even eat them alive. Just because they're hungry. That can't be good for the species as a whole though, right? The animal kingdom is a wild place where you have to fight to survive. And sometimes this begins quite early in an animal's life cycle. Today, we're going to take a look at 5 of the worst parents in the animal kingdom. Before we start, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it, subscribe to Planet Orange, and hit the bell icon for notifications. Now, let's get into it. Number 5. The cuckoo. The cuckoo is notorious for being a bad parent. Notorious! But if you haven't heard, you can get an idea of just how bad they are when you find out that the cuckoo doesn't even bother giving birth in its own nest. It's true! The cuckoo lays its eggs in a nest of any other bird it can find. Talk about a deadbeat parent. The baby cuckoo isn't really taken up for adoption either, and a lot of times it might actually be killed by the original owner of the nest. It's a little sad, but the baby cuckoo has to be killed if the new parents want its own offspring to survive. You see, the cuckoo hatchlings are heavy eaters. The whole strategy of survival for this guy is to hatch earlier and grow faster than the other egg. Once it hatches, it kills the real brood and starts its life as an imposter. I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Number 4. House sparrows. Jealousy isn't just a human trait. In fact, it runs wild in the animal kingdom too. Female house sparrows are super jealous of any other female sparrow that their male might mate with. And if children are produced as a result of the mating, the jealous house sparrow will kill the babies. Brutal. This sounds bad, but there is an evolutionary reason behind it. The house sparrow actually does this to take care of its own offspring. If the original male leaves the nest and moves to a new one, old nests might be claimed by a new male. New males aren't particularly nice to their step eggs, and as you might have guessed, the babies are either killed off by the new male or some predator if the old male leaves them unguarded. As a result, it's in the female's best interest to try and keep her mate bound with this old family. It's kind of a toxic and possessive relationship, but hey, anything for the kids, right? Number 3. Harp seals. It's almost impossible to think of these cute animals as anything but nice, but trust us when we say it, they most definitely are not. Harp seals are some of the worst parents in the animal world. It's as if they want a kid, but only for 12 days. What's that you say? During the first 12 days of their offspring's life, harp seals are super motivated to take care of them. In fact, they get so caught up in their care of their kids that they don't even eat. After 12 days though, they get bored and leave the kid to fend for itself. If you're thinking that these animals mature early and the harp seal baby can take care of itself by then, you're sadly mistaken. The almost 2-week-old babies can't take care of themselves at all. They're left stranded on the ice for the next month and a half, leaving them incredibly vulnerable to predators. The babies will actually lose half of their body weight during this time of abandonment. The baby seals eventually learn to survive without a parent. When they are about 8 weeks old, they're ready to swim and can begin hunting for their own food. This strategy, if you could call that, of leaving kids to fend for themselves isn't exactly great. Evolutionarily speaking, 70% of pups die as a result. Number 2. Pandas. Pandas are wildly popular animals due to their cute, cuddly appearance. Their favorite activities include eating, sleeping, and ignoring their children until they die. Caught you by surprise? Well, it's okay. No one expects these big balls of cuteness to be perfect. The truth is that pandas are absolutely horrible parents and show such a degree of favoritism towards one of their kids that they don't even care if the other ones die. Pandas usually give birth to twins. Twins mean double the love, right? Well, not for pandas. Panda mothers pick the strongest of the 2 offspring and focus their attention on him or her. The other cub is left to its own devices and often dies as a result of the neglect. Now, before we all start ganging up on Mother Panda for this behavior, you should know that this isn't done in malice. She has to do this, otherwise both babies would die. Pandas can't produce enough milk for 2 children because of their nutrient-poor diet and have to pick one to feed, otherwise there's a risk of both of them dying from malnutrition. That deserves a little sympathy, we think. And it's a little unfair for Mother Nature. Sure, give them 2 kids, but you can only feed one. Number 1. Black eagles. No one hates their children fighting with each other more than the black eagle. This mama bird hates their children squabbling so much that it will let one kid kill the other just so it won't have to listen to them argue anymore. Imagine if human moms let siblings kill each other when they fight over who gets control of the TV. It's almost unbelievable. In the wild, food can be scarce, and every day is a struggle. In a world where only the strongest survive, animals have to use strategies that that ensure that their genetic line stays the strongest. This often means letting weaker children die. This practice of getting rid of children is so common that it actually has a specific term: filial infanticide. Birds in particular are notable for this behavior, and it's labeled as brood reduction when they do it. We hope you learned something interesting today. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like and subscribe to Orange Planet. See you next time and take care.